Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 119. Why should teachers include inspiring read alouds in the STEM classroom? Today, I have a very, very special guest, Brooke Brown from Teaching Outside the Box. She is here today to talk all about some exciting read alouds and things that you can do with read aloud in a STEM classroom and how we can incorporate STEM and literacy. So exciting. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm such a fan of Brooke's, and so I felt like I was a little shaky at the beginning. I get better. I get a little bit better, but just wanted to warn you, and I'm super excited to have her. I hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Devery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Devery.
Hey, so today I have a special guest and I'm excited. I'm excited to share a conversation with Brooke all about literacy and STEM and children's play and getting kids excited about learning. It's just an exciting conversation. Brooke and I met through STEMCon 2020 last year when we both presented at STEMCon, and we were on a panel together. We were on a makerspace panel together. And I felt like I was talking to a kindred spirit. I was like, oh, I like this person. I liked her immediately. I thought she was so smart and so passionate about children and just kids loving to learn. And when I meet a soul like that, I know it immediately, and I am like, oh, I'm always thrilled. So I feel very excited about this conversation that we have, and I would just like to tell you in advance that I am a little nervous, and I tell her I'm a little nervous because I'm not very good at hiding those kind of things, and I need to just be right up front and just say, okay, I'm a huge fan, I'm nervous, I feel like I'm talking to someone famous, and I got nervous. But I know that I'm with family. I'm amongst you, and so I'm okay. It's all okay. But I'm excited about what we talk about, and I'm also excited that we're going to be part of STEMCon 2021 this year, and that is just around the corner. If you haven't grabbed your STEMCon ticket, you need to do so. At the time of this recording, we are over $20,000 in prizes. Isn't that crazy? So not only do you get the benefit of 45 different sessions, some amazing content. Brooke will be presenting. I'll be presenting. Dr. Yen Vanderhoven will be presenting. You heard her episode a couple weeks ago. And Renee, I've just got so many good people. We've got so many good people. I'm just so excited about it, and I think you're going to love it. And it's such a value. So you get all of this PD, and it's the kind of professional development that doesn't feel like grueling professional development. And that's one thing that I even noticed about Brooke. She has such a positivity about her, such a light, that I sometimes feel like I get into kind of the darkness sometimes, and I get frustrated with the system, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is what the light looks like. Go to the light. So I really think that's important. And so that's the kind of PD that you get. It's it's food for your soul. And it is something that will motivate you and inspire you and transform you as a teacher. And I just think it's really important. And when you sign up, you also get, and if you sign up through me, which I'll put the link in the show notes, you get an automatic freebie. So you get an automatic resource to use in your classroom. It's really good for first or second grade. And then you also get a bunch of other freebies, like $60 worth of freebies. So you basically have paid for your ticket, which is crazy. And then on top of that, there's $20,000. Yeah, $20,000. It is $20,000. $20,000 of prizes. that. I feel like I'm making that up, but I'm not. And it keeps getting bigger every time I say this. It changes. I just had an episode with Claire Mescat from Vivify STEM, which will come out in the next week or so, and we were talking about, and then when we talk, it's like 18,000. So then I did, and Brooks, I recorded, a couple weeks ago. And so now it's coming out first and it's bigger than the one that comes out. I don't know. It's very confusing. I can't keep up. There's just so many great details. You got to go check it out. So I will link to it in the show notes, but you can also find it at TrinaDebery.com/STEMCon21. Okay. So let's get to my conversation with Brooke Brown. Here we go. Okay, so I'm so excited to have Brooke Brown here today from Teaching Outside the Box. And Brooke, I'm like nervous. I feel nervous and excited to have you. So I'm just going to tell you that right up front because I'm already feeling like, oh gosh, I'm so nervous. So welcome.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me, Trina. Like the last conversation that we had on video was with our Makerspace panel last year. So I feel like we're friends. I feel like I know.
I do too.
And you share all the same passions. And thank you for having me. STEM books is one of my favorite topics, and I'm just excited to spend some time with you today.
No, I'm excited too. So, but I still you're right. And I do feel like we do have a lot of similarities. And I think that, except for you're young and beautiful. And and but I still am like, I feel like a little bit like a fangirl. Like I'm like,
thank you, Trina.
Brown. So
you are incredible. Every time you, especially in your sessions in STEMCon last year and everything, I felt like we were on the same wavelength and just I really enjoyed getting to know you over the last year, and we get to do it all over again this year.
You're right. We do.
So
and we are talking about STEMCon, and it's 2021 this year. So it's very exciting. Yeah. We're going to be back. So if you are ready to come join us, we'd love to have you. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I just talked to Renee. Was it yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah. And that episode will be out as well. And so it was, it was such a highlight of my year last year, being a part of that and just the energy of our presenter group, but also of all the teachers that came to the conference. It was just unbelievable.
It was like this door of human connection needed to be open last year that I didn't even realize until we were in the midst of the conference. And it just filled up my teaching soul. We were pulled away from our classrooms. None of us knew what the plans were going to be for the summer. There were so many unknowns, but it was this place where we felt safe and we felt like we all share the same passions and excitements. And I don't know that I hope that we can top it this year. Last year was just absolutely amazing, but with the lineup that we got, I feel like I'm even more excited about this year.
I know, me too. I think we are going to top it. I think it's going to be unbelievable. Yay. So it's exciting. It's very exciting. So, okay. So for any of my listeners that don't know you, I think that most of them do, but anyone that doesn't, just tell a little bit about your history, your background.
Sure. So I have been teaching, this is my 17th year, and all early childhood. I was in general ed for 10 years with first, second, and third grade. And then I moved to gifted and talented 7 years ago. And so I teach the little ones, kindergarten through second grade. I pull gifted and talented. I pull book clubs for enrichment, math enrichment classes as well for second and third grade. I'm part-time now, which has been a welcome blessing. Wow. That was actually a move that I made when I was pregnant with my son, my second child. And instead of, I finished my administration degree to become a principal. And instead of that, I kind of pivoted, started focusing more on my business, and then I could teach part-time as well. So that kind of is the best of both worlds right now. I started my business with Teachers Pay Teachers and Teach Outside the Box in 2013. And that has been such a happy accident to see it grow into what it is today. And creating has always been a hobby of mine anyway. And so if you can turn it into a business, that makes it all the more remarkable and amazing.
Absolutely. I agree. And you do such unbelievable stuff. And it gets kids thinking, and it gives teachers tools to use to get kids thinking and excited about learning. And I think, and that's the thing where I feel like we're like kindred spirits in that way, where we care so much about kids actually loving to learn.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what makes our jobs the best job in the world. If we can have that same enjoyment as we're teaching, with our kids learning at the same time. That was the same when I moved to this position with Gifted and Talented. I could do all of these enrichment activities in STEM, and for the first time in a long time, like, this learning felt like play to the kids. And I've always had that passion for hands-on learning and play anyway, but STEM was just this kind of missing piece. And the collaborative part, adding that all in, and when you can tie it in with literacy in so many different ways, I was just hooked from the very beginning. And it's been really fun to watch it grow over the years. But I'm teaching virtually this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm still Gifted and Talented, but I have a little over 100 students from my district for kindergarten through third grade, and which was a kind of a happy medium, since my own 2 kids, we chose to do virtual learning with them at home too. And but I am very much missing the classroom and being in person. I do feel like I know a lot of my students, even though we've never met in person. We've really gained these strong relationships despite being through a screen this year. But I miss my happy place. I did already decide I'm completely redecorating my classroom for next year. Like, we're gonna go all. It's gonna be, because it's just going to feel like a new beginning again. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the things that we really love about, sharing those materials again, and pulling out STEM challenges every day. And it's going to be great. But
even letting kids hug you. Like, I have kids that will come up and they'll stop short. And then it's like, you do like the air hug. And then some kids that just can't help themselves. They're like, it doesn't matter. And they just come anyway.
I'm going to stop them.
I'm not. I don't stop them.
But I'm like that with seeing friends of mine that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yes, like, it's just me too. Yes. Because it's human nature. You need that connection. It's important.
And it does feel, like, there's been a few instances now, with things going in the right direction with COVID, where we're like, I think it's okay. Is it okay to hug now? And it's that, again, that human connection piece that we were talking about, that we've all been craving. I think the kids have too. And
I think so too. I definitely think so too. Yeah. I noticed it as the moment, because we went back in August, I noticed it like literally the minute I was there. I was walking with 2 kindergartners, and in kindergarten, of all people, they don't get it. They didn't get it. Like, I took my eye off them for 1 second to grab the door handle, and they were right together. And it's like, that's just their natural way. But they're it's just nice to be around people. I definitely missed that part of it. And I love being in person with them, but I agree with you. I think you can make and build connections virtually as well. And more than you think that you can.
That surprised me, especially because, I have a lot of my students from my school, like my home building, and I have kids all over the district. I have this little girl that's in 2nd grade, and every week, so I check in with them every week. We do games and brain teasers and things like that. She waits to be the last one on the call. Like, she'll wait till everybody else signs off, and she'll every time she'll say, "I'll miss you until next week, Miss Brown." And like, it's just, I feel like I just want to scoop her up and put her in my real classroom, like, even though she's from a different school, but like, you can tell that, it's a highlight of her week, and it's become a highlight of mine. It's crazy how we've found ways to make connections.
No, you're right. You're right. When we shut down last year, I was a student sports specialist. So I didn't have like a class. But I was connected to all the kids through, we used Schoology. And so I would have 2 meetings every day, like one for like K2 and then 3-5. Because there was no way together, because the things that the older kids wanted to talk about, I'm like, we can't talk about it with younger kids. But I would have these meetings, and I'd have all these different kids come, because I dealt with behavior last year, but then this was just all kids. They just came. They just needed to connect with somebody, and we would do the same thing. We'd do brain teasers, and we play games, or I'd help them with work that they had in their classroom or whatever, or we just talk and hang out. I had lunch with them. We'd be eating our lunch together, but it was like these relationships with these children that I didn't really know before that, because they hadn't gotten in trouble. So, so I didn't know them. And it was and then now when I see them, they're like, Miss Deborah, because now now that we're back face to face, and they're like, do you remember me? I'm like, of course I do, because we were, we did all kinds of things together. So I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see your classroom. Like, you already have a really cool classroom.
About it. I actually ordered like bins and baskets and stuff already. And my husband was like, you are like a little kid at Christmas. And I'm like, well, it's been, 3 or 4 years since I've decorated my room. It's time. And
It's time.
so just a fresh start, something
I
to
think
get
that's
excited
fun.
about.
That's like one of my favorite things to do. When I redid the media center this year, like over the summer, and I spent way too much money because I love to do that. Like I love
I
decorating
do.
and that
I
kind of stuff.
know. And that to me, I'm like, well, of course the bins have to match. This is the way I've always done
Yes.
things. But of course, my husband's like, what are you gonna do with all your old stuff? I'm like, because I really don't have
Yeah. The space to
space
take
in
it
my room
home.
to store it.
Yeah.
And I always say I might go back to that theme, and I really don't. But I think I'm going to, excuse me. I think I might try to find a teacher in my district or building to
Yeah.
donate to that might be a new teacher or someone, because it's like
Yes.
literally here. You can take
Everything. Here you
all the
go.
matching bins, everything that goes with it. So I think that
Yeah.
might be, because
I
I
think
know
that's very nice. That would be very generous. It would really help a new teacher.
and
Yeah.
I still love it.
Yeah. It's very cute.
It's a really cute collection, but I'm like,
It's time for new.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I think that's exciting.
it's a good year for
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so let's talk about STEM and literature. Like you said the magic word earlier, and I was like, yes, yes, yes. This is another reason why I think you're so great. Because with STEM, a lot of times I feel like literature does kind of get left out. And I'm like, no, 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 no. We have to have good stories in there as well. So talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, for me, it was in the very beginning, so moving from the general ed classroom to gifted. I love teaching. Guided reading was one of my favorites. Read
Mhm.
Alouds. I have a passion just for children's books anyway, and I didn't want to leave any of that behind. And there really are so many, especially now, especially in the past couple of years, books that can serve as this incredible springboard and an inspiration for a STEM challenge. And they don't have to have explicit science and math concepts in them. A lot of time it is just pieces of the engineering design process, or it may have a child overcoming adversity or persevering to create or construct something. But the possibilities are just endless. And for me, that is my favorite type of lesson. Is if people are starting off brand new with STEM and are kind of afraid to get their feet wet, I always tell them, take a favorite picture book, or I'll give you some suggestions. Use that as your springboard for your lesson and choose some sort of a challenge that connects to the book in some way. But I do feel like, my library, I need to get a whole another bookshelf for my office and for my classroom, because what's crazy. So my session for STEMCon is on more top read alouds for STEM. So last year I did top read alouds for STEM. This one is an entirely new set of books. I finished recording my session like a couple of weeks ago. And I just ordered a bunch of new ones that I didn't have. And now I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I have more. It'll be more, even the next time.
And I have several people that I follow on Instagram that are always, sharing the best suggestions for books. So a lot of which are going to be at STEMCon. And they're going to be on the diverse and inclusive reads panel with me. And I cannot wait to just bask in all of their ideas and thoughts. It's going to be wonderful. But yeah, I have a whole new stack of books now that I can't wait to find new ways to implement in my class and share with my kids. It's just the best way to do STEM, I think.
I agree. That's so exciting. I love that and that's how I feel too, as far as like really taking those like problems and challenges in the story and then creating solutions for that. Not only are they actually using the engineering design process, they're thinking about the story, and they have to really understand like what was the problem and how could I have solved this. I love that. Like I love that too. What do you say to people who are like, well, if it doesn't have all the components, then it's not like, what do you say to that?
Like all the components of the engineering design process, you
that
mean?
or even or science and or every single part of STEM.
I love finding books that don't really have any sort of like explicit nonfiction content and pulling a particular concept out. So like there's a book called Drum Dream Girl. The science of sound is not a piece of that book, but the story and the history is just truly remarkable. But it's so easy to take that entire concept, do, a bunch of different ELA activities that connect directly with the text and reach into more higher levels there, but then also discovering the science, making their own drums, discovering the different tones and the things that you can create that way.
That's
That's just one
cool.
of my favorite things to do. And
Yeah.
the new set of books that I got is all about, I mean, for Women's History Month specifically
Mhm.
is the theme that I wanted to get. So it's all about women inventors and their stories and, all of the different adversities that they have overcome in their lives to make these remarkable achievements in science and math and in engineering. And just having the inspiration of a real world person to inspire
Mhm.
that STEM challenge makes it even more
Yeah.
exciting.
No, I love that. That's actually, I don't know what, I haven't been paying attention to that. Like that's what I need to be paying attention to. I have felt so almost like I'm drowning at school sometimes that I'm like, it's like we should be celebrating women. How am I missing this?
I
Like,
know.
why
Yeah.
am I not paying attention?
Start with books. That's the easiest. I mean, even like difficult, we talked about, especially over the summer and, early fall, difficult conversations, challenging
Yes.
conversations to have with kids.
Yes.
And sometimes when you don't have the words, a picture book will. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, there's so, like I said, I feel this year and last year and the past few years, my collection just keeps growing with really rich quality literature that you can tie the STEM challenges and just use for great read alouds anytime.
Yeah, I think that's exciting. We did the Shark Lady about Eugene Clark. Yeah. Do you have the see, I just saw that. The the picture book. Like because we did the chapter book. I did it with older kids, and that I just saw that it has a picture book. That's exciting. Is that one of the books that you talk about?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Not, no, these are new ones.
Oh, these are the new ones.
These
Yeah.
are not there. I have 5 new ones that are not in my presentation.
Oh my goodness. So
No,
you're literally going to be like more STEM
yes, yes.
literature.
STEMCon round 3, we will have these books, and some of them I had seen one by particular authors,
Mhm.
and then I found other ones. So I actually looked up Shark Lady. I had the intention of ordering Shark,
Yeah.
which I still am going to order Shark Lady because it looks amazing. And then I saw Mary Annie, which is the first paleontologist with Dinosaur Lady, and same
Oh,
author, Linda
same author.
Sears.
Okay.
Yeah, but just I like how they don't, especially these authors have this gift of not skirting around the uncomfortable details that
Yes.
propelled them to where they had to be.
Yeah.
And the mistreatment that they encountered along the way, that
Yeah.
when they were told no, when they were told they weren't good enough, when they were told that they didn't belong in certain places in this world in their career, and how they overcame that. I think that's even
Yeah.
more, like, what a beautiful and wonderful message for our young girls that it
Absolutely.
wasn't easy, and this is how
Yeah.
they did it, and it's just incredible.
Such an example of perseverance and
Yes,
the grit and determination and all those things that we talk about and want for our kids. And especially, well, I guess not especially for little girls, but sometimes I do feel that way. But but for all
yeah,
kids, I
absolutely.
definitely feel that way for all kids. And I think that's beautiful. And then you do get to have those kind of conversations, even with little ones, like even with first graders and kindergartners. They want to talk too.
And they recognize, injustice. They recognize
Yes.
things that are
Yes.
that it wasn't fair that she was talked to that way or treated that
Yeah.
way. Whether because she was a woman or the color of her skin, they recognize that from such a young age. And yeah, these, like I said, these authors have a gift of telling that story in a way that really
Mhm.
makes sense and inspires kids in different ways.
Yeah, I think those are the best kind of books to find.
Hmm.
Those special with those special messages and the things that you can take further. Because I
Hmm.
love that as well. And I know that you do that with your STEM and literature. Like you're still looking at standards as far as literacy standards, and you're talking about things in books and your close reads, but then you're expanding on that.
Hmm.
That's yeah, I love that. I think that's exciting. So okay, so you answer that about when people say, are you, you're not integrating every single part of it. But don't you feel, I guess this is one of the things that I feel as a primary teacher myself. Like I spent most of my time in second grade and some of my time in first grade. And I feel like we have to start somewhere. We can't always think that our kids have to have the college and career ready at the end of the line.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes.
yeah. So it's like, let me build this foundation and and then I will hand it off to you. And
Hmm.
so sometimes I feel like it doesn't always have to be every single part of it as it would be for an older child.
I completely agree. And I mean, and so much of our job, especially in the primary years, is fostering that love of literacy. And if we can couple that with a love of STEM, even better,
Yeah.
and you're right, it's not going to have every standard. It's not going, and it might not go all the way through the engineering design process, especially
Yeah.
because we know our time is so limited with the little ones.
Yes. So what do you say to that? What are some strategies for that?
That's a great question. So with kindergarten in typical years, I push in for 30 to 40-minute lessons, which is really, really fast
Yes.
for a STEM lesson. And one of my favorite things to do with them is to do a read aloud and a very quick STEM challenge that follows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not going to allow time for me to really dive into building background knowledge. I can
Yeah.
show them maybe a quick video clip that goes with it, kind of introducing some of that vocabulary. They might have time to just draw a very simple blueprint
Mm-hmm.
and then have the STEM challenge that follows it. So you're not going to get into the creating and the improving and the things
Yeah.
that could be extended over multiple days, but you are hitting a lot of standards in a very short amount of time that are all connected by this picture book and by the science standards that match it. So I think with the little ones, you have less is more. I learned that very quickly that, yes, give them a choice of materials, but don't give them a choice of 10 to 12 different materials. And to make sure that they're developmentally appropriate, make sure that they're materials that they've already played with and they're familiar with. We know those guided discoveries are so important for them to really understand how things work, because we know the little ones, a lot of times they don't know how they're going to create something until they can touch the materials.
Yeah.
So giving them that time to play and explore and leaving it open-ended is also really good for the little ones too. Of course, giving them a goal or a challenge, but also allowing that room for creativity. That's really where you're going to see a lot of that shine. But the picture book, quick video clip, quick blueprint, and STEM challenge. That's what I've done with my kinders for many years now. And it absolutely can be done. And it's ideally, do you want to extend it longer than that? Yes. But I know that in our busy teaching days, that doesn't often happen. So,
and also when you're on a rotation, if you're a special area teacher or you do have a special type of class, I think you have to use what you have, and you're not going to be able to. Do you do like the whole, like the revising part? Do you do that in other grades? Do you have time for that? Do they get to come back? Okay.
So in my gifted and talented classes, I have them for a full hour. And then if we don't finish something, they can come back to me next week and we can extend it over a couple of weeks. So I do have more flexibility there. With kindergarten, I don't want to start something, there's no for it. So I choose super simple challenges that only involve maybe 1 to 3 materials for them. And just, like I said, leaving room for that creativity is really important too. So at the beginning of the year, we do Iggy Peck Architect, and we do the fruit snack structures with the toothpick. So I don't give them a specific object. I just say build 2D and 3D shapes. What can you come up with? And they learn how to turn 2D shapes into 3D shapes with the different materials. And another easy one is Perfect Square. There's a book called Perfect Square, where a piece of construction paper is turned into all of these different other designs by cutting and tearing in different ways. So I give them a sheet of plain construction paper that is a square, and they try to create something new. So some of them actually create 3D structures. Some of them rearrange their shapes in different ways to create different designs. Simple is better. And that's kind of what works for me with the little ones. But of course, yes, with the older ones or with my full classes, we do go all the way through. We do a lot of background building. So not only the books, we look at real world structures, we watch videos, we do all the things. So a lot of times in my general classes, before they even attempt blueprinting, it's almost half the class is finished, because that background building takes so much longer.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that it's not.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. Yeah. I wasn't getting that message.
I also know, especially as a special teacher, I do have that type of flexibility. And I know general ed teachers may not. So finding different ways, I don't want to say cut corners, but finding different ways to pack a lot, get a lot of bang for your buck. It's absolutely possible to do.
Yeah, I agree. And even making time like a constraint, like you have this amount of time.
Sure.
Yeah, well, has helped me in the past. So I think that that's a good idea. You also said something that made me think, first of all, the thing about the cardboard, letting them tear and rip and cut, and they're learning things that you can later use in other challenges. So you're like setting this foundation. So I think that's like a brilliant idea. And then the whole like allowing them to have like the discovery bins, like that structured and unstructured time. And I have a makerspace course that came out, like it's closed right now, but it came out a little while ago, and I talk about that, about structured and unstructured time, because people are always like, well, if you're giving them unstructured time, you're letting them play, which drives me crazy. And I also talk about that in my course, because play is so, I feel like it's so important. Children, that's how they are discovering their world. That's how they're working through things that are going on in their lives. We should want things to feel like play. I am happier when it feels like play for me. So I want that for them as well. But when we talk about allowing them to have that unstructured time, like there's such value. There's such a value to that.
Huge. They have to figure it out somehow.
Yeah.
And by immediately giving them some sort of challenge where they're forced to use a material in a certain way, it's just not developmentally appropriate. Yeah, I completely agree with you 100%. And if it looks and feels like play, I feel like we're doing something in my world, we're doing something right.
I agree. We're doing something right. And don't you feel like when the older they get, this is what I've noticed. It's almost like sometimes I feel like our system has kind of beaten out of them the creativity. Like now I had to step into the engineering classroom a couple weeks ago because the teacher was out or whatever. And I ended up I'm like, I don't want to do what was given, because it was it almost felt like a craft. It was like, here's the steps here. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. Why is this in the engineering class? I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm doing a read aloud and they're going to create a solution to the problem. And the thing that I noticed was the third graders, they came up with all kinds of creative things, but the fourth graders were like, I can't do this. And it was all this whining. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I was thinking, it's because they have such a structured day and they were following these programs and this other stuff. And I'm like, these kids have forgotten what it feels like to actually have to figure out what to do.
And I think so much of their day centers around that left brain thinking and completely switching over to use their creative side of their brain. The younger ones, it comes completely naturally too.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's one of my favorite things that they do is completely ditch their blueprint and flip their paper over and draw a completely new one and redesign, start from scratch. And they're completely okay with that. They enjoy the process so much more. And I think maybe it's the whole one right answer mentality. The older they get. And I think any type of teaching that encourages that creativity and that process over product, and the fact that we might not all, someone else's success may look completely different than yours. I think anytime we can celebrate that is so important. But my teammate does fourth and fifth, and she is just absolutely brilliant with that age. And
that's so good.
I mean, the thing that you can do with that age is have these truly incredible conversations about
that's true.
Well, and you can with the little ones as well.
Yes.
No, you can absolutely do that as well. But there's a sense of urgency in these fourth and fifth graders to actually make the world better, whether it's inspired by problems in the world or inspired by their parents or, the community around them. There's just so much they're capable of at that age that is pretty magical too.
You're right. That's true. They are fun. That's fun in that way. I agree. Like the first time I ever really worked with older kids, like fifth graders, I was kind of scared at first. I was like, oh gosh, I don't want to be with fifth grade, but I had so much fun with them. And it was the conversations. Now I have a book club of fifth graders, and that's like one of my favorite parts of the day, because we're reading Hatchet. So, so good.
With 1,000 STEM challenges.
Yeah. So good. That's a great idea. We should totally do that too. Cause like that just gave me the chills. That's a great idea.
Science connections.
Yeah. I don't know why that didn't even come to me, because I'm like, my brain is in this one thing when it comes to them, but we totally have to do that. Today we read outside on the playground because I told you, and we were like up in the structures, and they were like, this is so fun. They felt like the one kid's like, I'm going to be Brian over here and sit on the island. And I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, come here. He was not even on an island. So come over here. It was so funny, but oh gosh, they're so fun. You're right. The conversations that you can have with older kids, we totally need to do that, because they don't do that. And we're a STEAM school. And I'm like, we're not doing that. We're not doing those things. We have to do those things. I don't want to beat it out of them and
No.
look at and like think of success in this one way. If you do well on this test, or if you do well,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to look at it like that.
No, that's no, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I could talk to you forever, but I know that
Oh,
you've got busy lives and busy things. So, is there anything, Brooke, that you'd like to share that you feel like teachers should know, even about like using literacy with STEM, like something that they can like think in their mind to kind of take away?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm stumping
a lot of times,
you.
I mean, teachers have their favorites, right? That we
Yeah.
go back to time and time again. And of course, it's you can try to find ways to connect STEM to those books. That's kind of how I got started as well.
Yeah.
But I do feel like stepping out of your normal library of books and books that you love sharing, seek out other resources and people to
Yeah.
follow on social media that are going to open your eyes to new authors, to diversifying your library, to making
Yeah.
sure that it's inclusive of all the children in your class, making sure that it's opening their eyes to problems in the world. I think that's been a big goal of mine, especially in the
Yeah.
past couple of years. And I feel like I'm growing right along with my students.
Yes.
And just like this new collection of books, which I don't think I told you what so this is the Julia Finley Mosca is the author of this entire series of books. We should try to get her as a guest on STEMCon.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
she
a
is an
great
amazing
idea.
author. So this is the story of Patricia Bath, which is the doctor with an eye for eyes. And then I got these two, the astronaut with the song for the stars. That's Ellen Ochoa. And
Ooh.
then the girl with a mind for math is the story of Ray Montague. And it's just these were not in my collection last year,
Yeah.
and it's like I said, growing and learning right along with your kids. Find inspiration in different places, but I think your library should grow as
I
as,
totally
as
agree.
you grow. And
Yes.
um,
Yes, and when you hear those kind of authors and you hear about them or even seeking them out, I think that makes so much sense because you're right. And we want to look at stories from different perspectives so that we have a better understanding of where everyone is coming from because
absolutely.
it's not going to be the same as my story or your story or someone else's. So I think that that's a beautiful thing to do.
It's exciting that we have these books now that we can
Yes.
celebrate these people that maybe never had much written about them in the past, and now we get to share their stories with our kids. It's
Yeah.
exciting to be a part of it. And the diverse and inclusive reads panel is going to be
Yes, I can't
amazing.
wait for that.
So
That's
we've got
exciting.
Vera, the tutu teacher, is
Mhm.
on it, and then one of our STEMCon presenters, Dia, Charlie, and we also have Juan Gonzalez for teaching third with Mr. G, and then Vanessa Brantley Newton, who is an incredible author. It's just going to be, if you want to learn more about STEM books, like
Yeah,
please
that's
join us,
exciting.
and
Yes.
it's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. That's exciting. Oh, I can't wait for that. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your passion and your enthusiasm with with everyone, with the world. You're like
Yeah.
very inspiring. So thank you.
It's a great time to be in this world of making and feeling like you're going to make a difference with these kids. Is like I think the pandemic kids being a part of this group, as hard as this year has been, we
Yeah.
get to be a part that also propels them into the future too.
No,
So
you're right. I love looking at it that way. You're like very positive, and I think I think yeah, I need more of you in my life.
I know we're just gonna try. Let's talk STEM and maker spaces all day. It makes me heart.
That sounds great. Thanks again.
Thank you, Trina.
And thank you for sticking around. I told you she was great. Isn't she great? I'm going to link to her in the show notes. You can check her out. And I just love conversations where I can just feel how passionate someone is about kids. And that's really special. I think that's really special. That makes me feel a little choked up. So I hope that you will join us at STEMCon 2021. And again, you can find that at trinadeveryteachingandlearning.com/STEMCon21. And also, I'm going to drop in a freebie because we were talking so much about literacy and and like STEM and makerspace kinds of activities. And I have a free makerspace moment in literature. I'm going to drop it in the show notes so that you can grab it and see for yourself what it's like to include literature and makerspace, right? And the literature and STEM activities. Mine actually is specifically for makerspace. It doesn't have a lot of the science or the technology in this particular freebie, but check it out. Well, this one tired teacher is gearing up and super excited, quite motivated for STEMCon 2021. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.